The Justice Department now trying to force Donald Trump's legal team to say once and for all, in writing and in the court record, whether Donald Trump declassified the various classified documents found at Mar-a-Lago, or at least whether he is claiming he declassified them, as he said on social media. This is the judge who signed off on the search warrant releases more details that help explain why the government sought the search warrant in the first place. We'll get back to that in a minute. But remember, this is connected to a separate federal judge, Aileen Cannon's initial order, ruling that the government could not access any of the documents seized at Mar-a-Lago for its criminal investigation until after what's called a special master has reviewed all of them. She did say the government could continue to use the documents to assess the national security implications. Now, late last week, the DOJ followed up arguing that pausing the use of the documents in the investigation would cause irreparable harm because it would also effectively, they said, prevent them from assessing the intelligence damage. Trump's team responded, encouraging the judge to stick to her guns, and as we discussed on the show earlier in the week, I found it interesting that one of the central points the Trump team makes is that Trump had the power to declassify the documents, so that these are just potentially basic presidential records, just like all others. But they're not saying he actually did declassify them, just that he could have. Trump says on social media he declassified them, so why won't his own lawyers simply argue it in court? It might be because there's a legitimate argument that they don't have. They may just not have the argument to make that he actually declassified. Well, the DOJ is now asking that question, very explicitly writing in a new filing late last night that neither Donald Trump nor his representatives have ever, even once, in the year plus since they were negotiating the return of these documents, indicated that he has declassified any of the classified documents found at Mar-a-Lago. They're basically trying to force his lawyers to answer the question. In its filing, the government says they're only asking that the judge allow them to continue using 100 or so records marked as classified or higher out of the at least 11,000 documents that were seized. Records, the feds say, that were, quote, specifically sought by a prior grand jury subpoena whose unauthorized retention may constitute a crime, and with markings signifying that their unauthorized disclosure reasonably could be expected to result in damage to the national security, including exceptionally grave damage. They then laid out all the ways top secret documents are typically kept, including approved vaults, alarm systems, etc. Now, also late yesterday, the magistrate judge, separate judge, Bruce Reinhardt, who signed off on the search warrant, well, he agreed to release previously redacted parts of the warrant affidavit. Now, we already knew that in June, Trump's team provided a letter signed by his lawyer, who's been identified as Christina Bobb, stating that a diligent search was conducted of the boxes that were moved from the White House to Florida. Any and all responsive documents accompany this certification, which, of course, turned out not to be true. This new information now confirms that on June 22nd, a grand jury subpoena was issued for surveillance footage from inside Mar-a-Lago. And then a couple weeks later, on July 6th, the Trump Organization handed over that footage on a hard drive. According to the New York Times, the footage revealed people moving boxes in and out, and in some cases appearing to change the containers some documents were held in. The footage also showed other parts of the property. And so that could explain why they were so convinced that they would find more classified documents and evidence of obstruction. Now, we are expecting a big ruling coming from the judge as to whether the government's going to be able to use all of those classified documents now. We will stay on top of this story with straight, unbiased analysis as we await that ruling. Thank you for watching. Go to NewsNationNow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.